Hey, what's up everybody, Nexel here. Today we are playing Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, following up on our last high score challenge video where I did a run with 0%. Now I'll be doing a run with the highest percentage I can get. For those of you that haven't checked out the last video, it is a little bit long, but go ahead, check it out so you can hear my description of the high score challenge as well as the Man in Black medal, a quick analysis on it, and some tips and why it's a good medal. But pretty much drawing from the end of the last video, the percentage necessary to get the Man in Black to hit that 30 million is going to be roughly 58-59% using the L method. So this assumes that you're using Zoldan B, it assumes that you're using something like Sephiroth EX or Axel EX, so that is going to be necessary just to squeeze out a little bit of extra damage, a little bit of extra points to get you to that 30 million. Alright, so this is the setup I'm going to use, so let me go ahead. Oddly enough, I will be using 3 wishes, which isn't my preferred setup to be honest, but it is going to be currently the highest I can do to maximize my attack, my strength score. We are going to use this setup, and we are going to use our Sephiroth EX shared medal. Shout out to the teammate Braxton for letting me use this medal. It is going to bump me up to a 72. So if this isn't enough to get that Man in Black, you know, there's something wrong with the math. But let's go ahead and just give it a run and see how far we can get. So since we are using Sephiroth EX, we will be going into the green path this time. And like I said in the first video, you're going to want to bring something with second chance. You're going to want to bring something that's gauge restoring because it is a long high score challenge. It is just a gauntlet of a high score challenge. Gotta check the whole room because some of the rooms have multiple enemies in them. Alright, so what are our enemies here? For me personally, I always like to go to the hardest enemy first, because going to the hardest enemy first, it kind of lets you gauge, you know, if you'll want to continue, if you can continue. Because if you get knocked out on the hardest enemy, second chance doesn't activate, and you knocked out all the other ones before, the easier ones that you know you could do, you run into a situation where you've pretty much done all this work just to get knocked out and not get second chance at the end. Alright, what's the next hardest one? This guy here. So Sephiroth EX is AoE, meaning I don't have to be nearly as careful as I was with Zoldan as I was in the last run. Having Key Art 11 is pretty perfect for this high score challenge because it does give you those 3 tiers of buff and then the minus, I believe it's 2 tiers of PSM strength, or power, speed, magic defense on the enemy. So that's going to help you score out some extra damage for some extra points. Gosh, I'm so jealous of this Sephiroth EX medal. It looks so cool. I wish I was able to get it. Alright, moving on to our next enemy here. I'm not using my illustrated KH2 Kairi because it does deal a set amount of damage, and that's going to pretty much rob me of points if that damage is enough to knock out the enemy. So what I'm doing instead is I am just using... Oh gosh. Eep. Oh no. Okay, I messed up. I could have squeezed out some extra score there, but unfortunately I did not. I don't even know if... Okay, cool. So we got to the last medal. We knocked out one of the enemies, unfortunately, but I will squeeze out the L method points on these 2 hook bats here. Alright, so let's move on to the next room. So that room had 4 enemies. This room has just that one enemy in the middle, it looks like. Okay. I don't think I'm going to use Kairi here. I will use Tifa and Aerith to help bring my strength up and debuff them a little bit. So because that Tsum Tsum medal is not on a preferred slot, it is not on a slot that gives it a multiplier, it won't be doing as much damage. Alright, so I have quite a lot of buffing going on here, so let's go ahead, use our Sephiroth EX, squeeze out those points with that 1-hit knockout. Alright, doing pretty good. Third room, we are at 4 million points. What enemies? Whoop! Oh, just ran into that one. Okay, let's go ahead, skip illustrated KH2 Kairi. and then attack with all our other metals, because these enemies are starting to get strong enough to withstand all my special attacks. So I'm not nearly as worried. I did not even level up these metals to level 100 because I didn't want their damage to be doing too much. So that's why I haven't leveled them up to level 100, just so I could not do so much damage, have all the HP going to Sephiroth EX to be able to score me all those points. Alright, looks like we have a total of 3 enemies in this room. I'm gonna go ahead, use Kyrie here, because I'm pretty sure that these enemies will be able to survive all my special attacks. And I'll get all my buffs going into that Sephiroth EX, and then hopefully that's enough to just completely wreck them. Gosh, Sephiroth EX, that's such a good medal. Congrats to anyone who's able to get him. He's so good, he's so fantastic, and I am honestly super jealous. Just look at that. That's such a Sephiroth attack, you know? For anyone who's played Final Fantasy, it's just such a Sephiroth-looking attack. Alright, so the enemies are strong enough, so I will be using all my buffers and debuffers. And I'm telling you, if 71% can't net me the amount, there is just something crazy going on in the air. I'm kind of worried about this high score challenge, mainly because a lot of people did pull for Sephiroth EX. So if they didn't get him, they have a butt ton of Tifa and Aerith medals that'll be able to bump that score up to 14%. So this is gonna be a hard high score challenge. It's very similar to when the World of Final Fantasy medals came out for the first time, because everyone pulled into them, and quite a few people got Sora, not too many, but that was a hard high score challenge. I only topped in the top 5,000 for that one because I didn't have, you know, like 5 World of Final Fantasy medals plus the shared Sora, so I didn't have a high percentage going into that one. Ooh boy, alright. These enemies are starting to... I'm starting to wonder if, because shared medals usually have nerfed strength, so I'm starting to wonder if I'll be able to knock them out with a shared medal every single turn. Alright. No enemy is up in that corner. Whew, alright, I believe this is one of the few rooms left. I think I only have 2 or 3 more rooms after this if it follows the same plan as the blue one. My gosh, how is this such a long high score challenge? It's like, not only is it a test to see if you got Sephiroth EX, it's also a test of patience to see if you get knocked out and second chance doesn't activate. So I don't know what they were going for with this one here. Alright, I'm already at a higher score than my 0%. Oh man, I don't like these gummy copters. The black one, they're very tricky to deal with. So my key art 11 goes off. So 23 bars of health. Let's see if a shared Sephiroth EX with attack boost 4 can burn through 22, not 22 bars of health. I will be darned. Guys, Sephiroth EX is just too ridiculously OP for the game's current state. Oh my gosh. And there are a lot of people who pulled them boosted too, surprisingly. Maybe it's because more people pulled for this EX more than any of the other ones. But man, to have Sephiroth EX, you are good for a while. I think it's pretty still on par with the EX medals that came out in Japan. Ooh, man. I hope he comes back in a falling price deal just like Cloud did, so that I can get another chance to pull for him. Alright, so we're almost at that 30 million. Gosh, and thinking about it, for people who just loaded their entire blade with Tifa and Aerith, man, their high scores are probably insane. I don't know how I'm gonna place on this one, but we will definitely try our best to get that top 1,000. Because having a single metal 1 gauge that can do so much damage, so much fixed damage, is going to be pretty insane. Alright, so we got a chocolate gargoyle here. just another general tip. Try and lower that general defense down on the enemy as much as you can, because the higher the enemy's level, the more that general defense up is going to block you from doing any sort of damage. Alright, Sephiroth EX, let's see if you can knock out 15 bars of health on a level 750 enemy. Jeez, even as a shared medal, it does a lot. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Alright, so we are at the end. We are cleared above that 30 million mark. So I am going to get my 2 Man in Blacks, and hopefully I can somehow squeeze out getting into that top 1,000. So that way I can show you guys the guilt, and for anyone who has any sort of doubts about using Mickey and Brooms on it, maybe it'll be the push. You never know. Because again, that medal, if you didn't see the last video, it is 10 gauges just slammed into one. It's a Pluto, it's a Bell, it's a Mini, and it also deals a fixed amount of damage. That is a lot. That is a lot to cram into one medal. And it's also tier 5, which is just good on its own. Alright, so there you guys saw it. I went in with... Ooh, raid boss. Of course there's going to be a raid boss. How many enemies did I have to fight in that high score challenge? Alright, so I got that score, 32 million, and I used a percentage of 72. I'm sorry, 72 is the percentage I used. So let me go ahead and just crunch some numbers for you guys here. Alright, yeah, so that baseline score you gotta get is gonna be 19 million. You're gonna have to have at least, again, like 58, 59% going in. I'll try another run going in with that promised 58, 59, see if I can squeeze out enough to get to that 30 million, and we can go from there. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will try my best to answer them. Again, disclaimer, I am super busy nowadays now that college has started back up again, so I apologize if they're not super fast responses, but I will try my best to help out anyone who needs help in this game, because this game is so much fun, but it is very easy to get intimidated by people who are like super far ahead. So again, any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to leave them for me in the comments below, and I will try my best. Until the next video, everyone, take it easy.